playing right now, bro. It's all right. Woo, shit. Oh. That's some strong ass beet juice. What's up? You want some treat? You want some treats? All right. I'm gonna give you some teeth cleaner, all right? We got 4 bags of this. This should last like 3 months. I might give you 10. 10. Hold on. Here you go. Over here, over here. That's 10. Exactly. Don't look at the bag, you greedy ass. Stop eating them crumbs falling out your mouth. Eat them too. I know you blind, so you can't see the crumbs. Damn, that's some shit. Ooh-wee. Yo, what's going on? What's up, Realito? What's going on, Chuma? I'm gonna read a little bit. I'm gonna read, and then I'm gonna get ready to eat because I'm feeling it, you know. My package should be coming here shortly. I think it's a book and something else. So when I get it, if it is it, I'll probably share it. Yo, my neighbor. She must be getting off work early. Get in a minute. Get some more people come in. Yeah, the Cali, man, he put together a little good, nice little I can pull it up, show it, but I shared it on Facebook. Put together a good little video docu-series. They're making it. So I just got to watching that, making some beet juice with lime. Beet juice, almonds, lentils, flax, good for your blood pressure, people, if that's an issue. Because a lot of our people all of a sudden are having this, damn, beet juice like crazy, are having that issue. All right, you feel me? So you might want to tap in on that, you know? Some good stuff. I was going to wait a little longer because I know people are working, slaving, working, whatever. Let me see if I can pull it up. I could put it on the screen, and I can. Let me see. Yep. Yeah, I can pull it up. Up. Yeah, Truth Speaks with Chief Cali uploaded Our Story Make It Make Sense promo docu-series coming 2023. So if you YouTube, go check it out. He sent it to me. I think it's very good, well put together, and it's going to trigger the people who it needs to trigger. Sadly, it shouldn't trigger nobody, But oh well. But it may enlighten the people it needs to enlighten. You know, I've gotten to the point where I'm very tired about it. So when I talk about things, it's gonna hit you in the gut. And wow, it went up, dude. That's what's up. So I gained 0.3 cents. Well, that's the small one. That's what I call a tester when it comes to Bitcoin stock market. I'm actually messing with stocks. I mean, it's good to put a good penny in there if you want to see something you can walk away with. They want to know if I want to borrow. I don't want to borrow shit from you idiots. Anywho, so yeah, check that out. For those of you who follow me on Facebook, I didn't share it on Instagram. It's pretty good. It was well put together. Because a lot of people always want to talk about civil rights movement, which for some reason is helping everybody, but the people it was intended to, because it really wasn't about civil rights. And I'm grateful for my young brother Jah Brickz, who broke it down. He's in Northern New Jersey. I used to live there. And he let people know what it was all about. He's been paying attention. Excellent. And when I showed people that it had civil liberties and civil rights on there, everybody like, that's not on there. I'm like, all right, well, go get an original. Go and look at the original copy and look at it in its entirety. People don't like to believe the truth. When I told them Medgar Evers was a chief, they said, you're lying. I showed them the news article, one that I saw when I was a kid. No, I was a youngin', excuse me, not a kid, that's an animal. It's a cow or a goat or some kid or something, goat or something like that. So, anywho, and people like, oh wow, it was chief murdered in his driveway. Yeah, chief, he was on his way to a meeting with other Indians, the original. Then when you start talking about, well, we fought for the civil liberties all over the place. Where were these so-called? All right, Cal. I'm gonna listen to it. Yeah, for sure. You already know, fam. But where were they? They didn't exist. I should know. I was all down South America, all down in the southern, the southern cities, Carolinas and Georgias. I was like, well, all of a sudden, when I get older. All of a sudden they pop up out of nowhere. This is no hate. But we're tired of the hate because it's stupid. It's real stupid. And there was a lot of pale skins running around and some mulattoes. I detest that word. Some damn near breeded out. Running around, playing us. Disrespectfully too. I got straight hair, look at me. I mean my hair is wavy, but I got straight hair. Look at me. I can mix in with the farm. Like make that make sense. Some people are what they are. You are what you eat. You know what I mean? Yeah, I didn't know, fam. I got you. I have no sides. I don't pick any sides. You see the people coming in and leaving. I love that. No, I really do. If you only knew why. No, I love it. I love when they come and they go because it lets me know my dreams are not. It lets me know exactly what I need to know. Okay, that's cool. That's what's up. Somebody said, hey, Ray, how come you don't be sharing it? I was sharing it for what? That y'all supposed to be sharing it. What am I sharing it for? I'm not here for the masses. And I need people when they watch this to pay attention. I need you to leave. I don't need you to stay here and get anything. And if you stay, appreciate it. If you don't, go about your physical way. You know what they say, when you put your hand on the doorknob, you can open it, you can grab the other side, or you can close it from the same side. Either way. You can open it to enter, you can close it when you enter, or you can open it to go back out and close it when you leave. Or you don't have to close it at all. Today we're going to get into chapter 16, the land of clones. Land of the clones, the terra infinita. That beet juice, man. I can't drink a lot of that, y'all. I mean, it's good for your blood pressure, right? Those who are messing, salt and all that other stuff. But when you're fasting, again, when you're intermittent fasting, and your body's losing weight, and I'm coming off, I've been off of that damn sad ass medicine. It's not medicine, but you know what I mean. My body is really going through it, but I ascertain it and I keep pushing forward and utilizing as little, but the most of everything that I'm aware of. Can't do it all the time because too much of anything, even in a small, minute way, can be toxic. So it's good. I always say go get your blood checked, but make sure you're getting your blood checked by people who you can actually entrust to do the right thing with it. Because the majority of them, they take that blood and they ship it right to the enemy. All facts. That's a fact. They ship it to the enemy. And I know a lot of people be sitting there going, yeah, okay, well, prove to me that they don't. Prove to me they don't, like you want me to prove to you they do. When I can give about 5 different reasons as to show you they do. And it's well known now. They want to play it off like the DNA companies. No, when you go into some of these ragtag ass hospitals, these doctors make over the couple $100,000 a year, or whatever, $500,000, $250,000. They're part of the system. Ask them, hey, are you Mason? You traveling? Just say, are you traveling? They'll do a hand signal if they not trust you. And if you're aware of hand signals, you'll know. And it'll be very benign how they move. Whether if their right hand turns to the left, there's a number of things that you look at that can show you. You know what I'm saying? And not to say that that's supposed to mean something. Well, if anybody's paying attention to the times, you don't have to drink the tea. You don't have to. Somebody's like, John Amos ain't your uncle. Okay, whatever. No, he's not, no. None of them. Nobody's my aunts or uncles. Nobody. I'm here purportedly in my own existence, based upon my own decision. But do I want to remember everything that needs to be remembered? Or do I want to coexist and accept whatever comes to me that allows whatever I need to say be relevant? Everybody's got a choice. Nobody has to believe not a damn thing. And for some people, it's best if they stop believing everything. But what may come of them? What may happen? I know this Navajo was adopted to a black family. Y'all know how I feel about that word. Yet, you'd be surprised how many wonderful people come out of it. Ignorant, but wonderful people. Okay. Oh, wow. Woo-wee. There we go. go. Oh, schnizzle. No, no, not that. I'm just, posted. I want to share that because they're shadow band. You know, they're doing their little, they're doing that little goofy thing, the shadow thing. You know what I mean? So, okay. Okay. Let's see what comes out of that. That's gonna be funny. I'm gonna hurt some feelings with that one. We're gonna get ready to get into this reading. I was hoping Rondo. Hey, BJ, what's cracking, fam? Yeah, I was hoping. I guess Rondo. Let me see. And where's Westside? Westside might be asleep. Westside be sleeping, cause Westside be getting it in. What's up, Rap? Oh, okay. Here we go. Dude. Okay, excuse me, guys. Got it. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. Where is it at, man? Boom. 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 I hope she's all right. Sucks. He's working. Westside may be working too, though. Westside might be working. For sure. All right. You got it now. Yes, sir. I'm getting to read this here in a minute here. Kenny James was cracking. I'm just inviting some people that I know because a lot of people don't get my notification. You dig? Just a handful. What's up, Johannes? What's up? All right, there we go. All right, we're good. So yeah, I'm gonna get ready to get into this reading because I'm getting hungry. I haven't eaten yet. I just drank that and that ganeo, the banana. So anyway, this is Terra Infinita, extraterrestrial worlds. I'm not gonna do a lot of talking. I did what I said what I need to say earlier. Worlds and their civilizations. The story told by the woman who was born in the lands behind the ice walls. Nos Confoundum. Okay, remember this is by Claudio Nocelli. He has a YouTube channel if you want to check him out. Most of the stuff is in Spanish, so if you're not learning the language, learn some Spanish, people. It's easy language to learn, trust me. Chapter 16, the lands of the clones. Second Earth, land of clones. America 2. Now, we're getting into the whole diatribe Tartary and what was happening here after World War I, prior to World War II, the explosion of pale skins, and the fact that there were actually cloning centers, they were called, birthing incubators by the droves. That's why I tell a lot of pale skins, you'd be surprised to know where you really come from. I wouldn't necessarily say they're clone, but I wouldn't deny it. right? So let's say, allege. But the sinners were real. I mean, they literally had the name on them, clones. This is indeed a very strange Earth. It was created as a totally experimental first Mars Earth. Although it was not used for a long time until they transferred the idea to the Mars Earth. I'll show you a picture of it. I know many people have seen some of the map now, okay? Earth 2. But you see how there's 3 rings? Very, very protected. It's obvious as to who. Isn't it funny how people in the 60s and 70s and 50s and 40s heard about the Greys, and all of a sudden now it's not even a thing, but they're talking about the Navies and all of them are talking about you. Because I remember pilots coming back talking about, man, we saw something up there, and they'd be shooken. And they had to go to the ready room and debrief. And nobody was allowed in there at that time. None of the supervisors or whatever. The first to penetrate the circle environment were the Anunnaki, finding only life in a very early stage of development. It was immediately used to transport some of the then dominant races to create an experimental site for conflict resolution and inter-race development. But this did not prosper, and it was almost destroyed. Then it was used as cloning lands to save lives of important leaders of the different races. For that reason, it has that characteristic name. There was an escape of beings that were used for cloning that had to be chased in order to not generate great commotion in the different worlds. This also happened with human beings who were used for cloning, who escaped from there. These beings were robotic and lacked any feeling or empathy. No doubt all this was another aberration of the parasites. The experimental land today is completely abandoned. They are one of the many forgotten lands that someday maybe someone can reuse. The Pleiadians have also have these lands in view to make a massive relocation. But the truth is that it is not known what can be found there, since the large laboratories were abandoned overnight. And how many of y'all looked at lynching pictures and looked at the people's blank faces standing there after they've lynched something? Churning and everything. Like, what the, you know? Chapter 17, the reptilians. I know some of y'all might really get a gas for this because y'all center-lined on certain things. So, the land of the reptilians, you got lands of Hydra, Lacerda lands, celestial lands, Terra Incognita, and it's surrounded by ice. Yeah, it's wow. These beings are often mistaken for Anunnaki or other beings, but the reality is that they live far away from the known lands. Although they have visited them on several occasions and have made direct contact with leaders, they are beings who prefer to live far away from other worlds. Their homes are generally built underground, and these advanced reptiles have shown great hostility to humans. On several occasions, they have encountered them. Generally, if they visit other worlds, they do so to implant, listen, subway bases that could be used in the future, since they monitor everything from there with their advanced technology. Although they have a whole circle environment for themselves as the Lacerda lands, most of them prefer to live in the island near the world. There they have a large subway city, and although they live in independent lands, they seem to prefer it that way. They have had in the past great wars against the Anunnaki and are considered of great advancement in development of weapons for destruction. These beings have earned their due respect from the great colonizers, have never been used as beings for inferior tasks, nor have they been able to bend them in any way. It is very possible that if they had to choose a side, they would go in favor of the custodians in a possible future war against humanity. That's why I say all these generals and all these things, they're all a bunch of weak punks. Rockefellers, all of them, just chumps, weaklings. And they are. Anyone that would get in a position to betray, regardless of feelings, emotions or not, just weak, scared. Chapter 18, the celestial lands and other extraterrestrial worlds. So the celestial lands, Terra Incognita. And you got land of Venus and Lacerda lands right next to it. There are many other worlds that are being left out of this book, and that soon will also be detailed about them. There are so many extraterrestrial races that struggle to survive in a system that seems to leave to mere luck the fate of each one. Those who survive are those who die. Wow. It should also be noted that there are many others, although to a lesser extent, where peace and development reigns, perhaps because the parasitic races did not see or find anything interesting. Perhaps they monitor them from afar, or simply their development was subsequent to the visits in their lands and go unnoticed. Other lands, as we have seen, did not even manage to develop completely when the parasites entered their worlds and emptied their lands along with their dreams. Besides staining their history completely with blood, manipulated and changed their future forever. The human being was broken and still could not twist the destiny for which he was created. His kingdom was taken a long time ago, and it did not seem that they will leave the throne soon. Perhaps it is time to reveal themselves to the despot king. It is true that at least 3 colonizing races weigh on us, and although we are still standing, we are being emptied spiritually every day. The death of the human being will not be physical, but it will be when we reach the point that there is no being in the known lands. Who knows that inside in his spiritual potential enough to change everything around? We must also learn from many other races that managed to overcome. We must follow some of their techniques to overcome the oppressive and manipulative power in which we live here. Many of these races are willing to help in the path towards the awakening and human freedom. It should not be forgotten that the celestial lands, the mysterious and hidden lands where the parasites could never enter, in parentheses, and that they tried with all their technology together, and continue to keep our secret, the one that only we humans carry, the source of life. Maybe we are the link to the other lands behind this great dome. The fear of the colonizers is real because they cannot manipulate our essence. They only manipulate our physical environment. Nothing can harm our inner self. It is time to wake up. Part 2, the interview with Helen, known lands, and the last reset. Chapter 19, the navigator's daughter born in an ancestral republic. Why the official versions do not inform us about these worlds, and what is the reason for their visit to our lands? Those questions are somewhat complex to answer quickly, but I will try. There are many continents behind what you know as poles. I would call them barriers or walls. They can be of ice, as in Antarctica, and in several other parts, as well as mountains, although there are several types of these barriers, both in your known world and outside. I have visited your land so many times as I consider myself part of here, but the ancestors have even visited other worlds repeatedly, and thousands of other races have also visited us, both in a friendly way and in the most cruel way. We could say that I am also part of here since my ancestors were born in these same lands and lived here until the final day. Since I was a child, I was motivated by the idea of being able to return and step on the soil of my mother and grandparents. They gave up their lives for the freedom of our entire existence. My father is William Morris, and he's in the first book. And I must tell you that he was born in these lands like you. He had the fortune of being able to cross those imposed, artificial ice walls created by the same parasites that control them today and managed to find our lands. I mean, the ancestral republic, or whatever you want to call it. There he met my mother and formed a great family. I have the best memories of my dear father that fortunately many are now knowing little by little, and soon a large part will know more about the lands where I was born. We're going to stop there, and we'll get in chapter 20 tomorrow. And that's when we get to William Morris, the man who tried to change the course of humanity. It's pretty freaking interesting. Heaven Bearers, the Great Reset of 1834 and the Mud Flood, Janine Helen. which I showed y'all her. That's a picture of her in South Africa. This is chapter 10. Again, this is Heaven Bearers, the Great Reset of 1834 and the Mud Flood. Who are the heaven bearers, right? What heaven? Anyway, they take a seat at a medium-sized, perfectly square table. There are 2 orange candles on beautiful glass candlestick holders in the center of the table, and they smell like citrus. The tablecloth is black, and it has an orange stitching all around the edges, which is so subtle that it is almost unnoticeable. Bonnie looks around and realizes that they have the best spot in the restaurant. She has a full view of the live band, and she starts to hum along softly to the song, even though she doesn't know the music. She only realizes then that she has hardly heard any kind of music at all, and she doesn't even know what kind of music she is listening to. It has a fun beat, and it makes her want to dance. She is tapping her right foot to the beat of the music and gently sways her body to the right and the left. She's happy and enjoying herself. Malcolm, Rune, and Aurora are having a conversation amongst each other. They don't include her, and it's obvious that this is done on purpose. In fact, she shouldn't even be with them in the restaurant. Everyone is staring at her, and she wants to leave. She looks over at Malcolm and gives him a coy smile, and he completely ignores her. Of course he does. She stands up and excuses herself and walks over to the balcony for some fresh air. She is the only Tartarian girl seated as a guest, and she realizes how hated her kind really is. She never felt this disdain for her kind in Montreal. Oddly enough, and she wonders why it is so different here in New York. The breeze is cool and refreshing. She can hear a girl giggling in the distance, and her eyes search for her in the distance. She is young, Tartarian, and she has her arms wrapped around a Phoenician man. They sound happy and in love, and she feels a sudden glimmer of hope that Malcolm and her can maybe be happy. She can't help but smile at the sight of them, and she thinks about the few good moments her and Malcolm have shared over the last couple of weeks. The girl giggles some more, and her voice and tone are familiar. She takes a few steps closer to get a better look at her because she realizes that she actually knows her. "Stacy," she calls out, surprised to even be saying that name out loud. She skips a breath when she gets close enough to see that it is her. "Stacy, is that you?" "It is you." She hurries up to her and gives her a big hug. Stacy is caught off guard and completely by surprise. She pushes away and takes a good look at her. "Bonnie, what on earth are you doing here?" Her tone is unfriendly and belittling. "I'm here with Malcolm, my husband." She is confused and looks over at the man she is with. He is Phoenician, but she can sense the tension between them all of a sudden, and she knows he is not her husband. The atmosphere, wow, she can sense that. Wow, the atmosphere is awkward, and no, I had to say that. And no one says anything until Stacy notices her stomach. "You got pregnant?" She scoffs in anger. Of course you did. That was supposed to be me." Her tone is sour and harsh, and she pulls a face that reveals her jealousy. Life hadn't been kind to her, and Bonnie can see the anger and hurt in her eyes. She backs up slowly and walks away and back towards the restaurant without saying another word to her. She isn't sure what just happened, and her mind is still processing the sequence of events, trying to make sense of it all. "I'm sorry, Stacy," she whispers under her breath and wipes away the warm tear that rolls down her cheek. This is one of the people that, the fondling, grew up in that so-called orphanage. She sits back down at the table in the restaurant, and the 3 of them are still talking like they were when she left. Her body fills with emotion, and she can't contain it. She stands up again and begins to cry. She is embarrassed and tries to look for somewhere to go, somewhere to hide. She accidentally bumps into the waitress and knocks over her entire tray of wine glasses, and the red wine spills out of them and splashes all over her and the floor. This only makes her cry harder, and she suddenly can't breathe. Everything spins, and she feels sick and naked and all alone. She feels a tight grip on her wrist, and she is being dragged to the end of the room. "Stop making a scene," Aurora scolds her and is taking her to the restroom. Her pale face is full of anger and she throws a white hand towel at her. He should never have brought you here. You are all the same. Clean yourself up and stop looking for attention, silly girl. You are a Tartarian girl. Start acting like one. She shakes her head quickly, checks her hair and makeup, and while she stares in the mirror, she mutters at Bonnie. Listen to me and listen carefully. When you get back to Montreal, pack your things and head west, as far west as you can get. Take the train to Edmonton, if you can. Her eyes go purple and she blinks hard. Don't look back and be careful. Cover your hair and act like you are traveling for business. She walks out like nothing happened and nothing was said. Woo! Almost not right there because it's going to get good. Be careful when people say things to you. You never know what the purpose is. That's why I tell y'all right now, stop being all emotional and in your feelings, because they're not in your feelings, and those emotions are a construct of the narrative to which you live. A lot of times when people say something, you know how many times I've talked to people, then what do you mean? I'm like, this motherfucker really didn't get that I was complimenting where they're at and speaking on where they might be headed. And they are, and listen, y'all see enough of Antifa and the women screaming, "It's all right, body right, kill the baby, blah, blah, blah." They have no perception, no reality of time and space. They have no truth coursing through them. Everything to them is physical. If it wasn't, do you think these so-called adults would be sitting there dressed like women talking about little boys being gay and holding Charlie's pee-pee and anal sex? Who would have teach you? I'm just using that as an example. I think it's extreme, but I think it needs to be pointed out. I'm just saying, think about it. So here we are, exposing expositions 1851 and 1915, the revised 2021 from the 2019 by Howdy Muskowski. This book right here is good. Remember I was reading about that 50 miles? Now, this is based on real stuff, y'all. This is not just made up. This man did his research. All the references and resources that I started putting together the pictures. So it's going to take a minute, y'all. Trust me. So, we're right here. We're at the bottom over here. All right, because yesterday we were getting into catalog. There's never mention of where the money was obtained. Anyway, that was talking about Berkeley, remember? Yeah, that has all the source materials, and that was the final chapter of the Fair book. He presents the wonderful library at Berkeley. And remember we were talking about the Vatican, the 60,000 books, numbered about 44,000, 5,000 volumes of 50 miles of information the Vatican has. While I do not believe the historical records he presents, I do feel the study of his books is important because his collection research obtained him the documents that reveal the true history of North and South America. I think you know what? I did get over here. My fault. Here we go. My apologies, because I made sure to come over here. There we go. I believe that he used, and this was talking about that idiot when he was over in California and all that stuff, the Berkeley University. Bancroft, you know what I'm talking about, that guy. All right, so Hernan, whatever his name is, Bancroft. I believe that he used the found ancient books, manuscripts, and maps that had come into his possession to know much of the complete early history of the Americas. But if he wanted to present that real history, he only would have had to update and republish what he had discovered. Just reprint the found books. We read this yesterday. My guess is that he did not present the real history that he found, but did the same thing that Egyptologists of Egypt do. Anything important that is found is locked away in the Cairo Museum and never mentioned again. I want to read this over. Or seen again. I propose that Bancroft did the same by turning over the key documents to the Smithsonian for safekeeping, in parentheses, which means to be put into a safe so no one can ever see them. End. He then went to work with a group of 600 collaborators to create the new history of North and South America. That is how important this man might be, okay? Then we go down. He wrote 39 volumes, each about 1,500 pages long. That is over 60,000 pages. One has to ask, how can a single man write 39 books of 1,500 pages, each in less than 20 years by himself? Well, the same way the Great Chicago Exposition was supposed to be built in 2 years, it cannot. He had a lot of help to write it, and most of it went through unchecked. In parentheses, it states, the volumes are full of grammatical and spelling errors, and even during his lifetime, he was under scrutiny for his work. The Salt Lake Tribune called him a Polliner, or other people's brains. In 1893, Oregon historian William Alfred Morris presented an essay on Bancroft in the Oregon History Quarterly, that's a good thing to look into, y'all, Oregon History Quarterly, where he posits that most of what Bancroft claimed as his own was actually written by others. This tainted his legacy in the eyes of some scholars on the principle, false in one thing, false in all. Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. This does not taint his legacy to me, but it more showcases just how much of a fraud his historical work must be. In the final chapter of his fair book, he presents the wonderful library at Berkeley, in parentheses, that has all his source material, and tells a story of how he obtained all of them. Nearly half a century of time and over $500,000 were consumed in making this collection. First, all the nooks and corners of North and Central and South America and the West India Islands were searched for whatever had been written or printed therein, and whatever related to them which had been elsewhere published. Then Europe was several times visited like manner, and in numberless instances where the desired books and manuscripts could not be purchased, copies were made. Work of this kind was done in all the great libraries of England, France, and Germany, of Italy and Spain. Everything in St. Petersburg relating to Alaska was translated and copied. The archives of Spain and Mexico supplied masses of historic data relating to the conquest and occupation of Spanish America, while chronicles of the doings of Anglo-Americans on the western slope were secured in the older settled sections of the eastern side. Another question to ask is, who financed the $500,000 that he claims it took to do all the cataloging? There is never mention of where the money was obtained. While I do not believe the historical records he presents, I do feel the study of his books is important because his collection research obtained him the documents that revealed the true history of North and South America. I think he knew the truth, preserved it for his elite friends, then wrote what was going to be the narrative that they wanted the common people, us, to believe. And most of us have, until very recent times, believed it. So again, his book of the fair for me is beyond important. When this project is complete, I am going to go back and read through some of his other books, for I feel he may have found truth of America's origins, and like any other, it will sneak into his writing. I have come across a glorious old book, one that might have been of the many that Bancroft had found originally. Today it can be found uploaded to the internet as America, being the latest and most accurate description of the New World by John Ogilvy. Anywho, in 1671, it is to be placed in the Smithsonian Library, which again gives, and it was in the Library of Congress as well, gives credence to me that they got what Bancroft found. This book, if you read very closely, presents that the inhabitants of North America's west at this time had cities of over 30,000 people who lived in 4-story lime and stone houses. 4-story buildings? Where are these buildings? Who was living in them? The depictions of many things in the book are spot on. So this is claiming civilization in North America beyond teepees and wigwams. I told you, wigwams and longhouses were ceremonial. Bancroft may have been writing a history that was in cooperation with Freemasonic ideas. In one early chapter on the history of Chicago in the Book of the Fair, he mentions how Chicago has built wonderful architecture in the city. He gives the reader a tour of just one of those buildings, which is the Masonic Temple building. He goes into detail on the building, especially the upper. We're about to get there in Heaven Bearers too, y'all. Masonic Temple building, he goes into detail of the building, especially the upper Freemasonic Lodge. Of all the choices for buildings in Chicago to tour, why only that one? We have to recognize that if we are ever going to get to the truth of what we call history, we need to determine the aims of those groups who you might say funded it. When you begin to understand what is wanted to be presented, it can allow the possibility to uncover true from false. What is Chicago? The point of this chapter was to present that everywhere you turn in Chicago with anything claimed to be built before 1930 looks like you are in ancient Rome or Central Europe. I think this is point. Chicago is Rome, or is meant to portray it. It seems the Columbian exhibition of 1893 was the centerpiece of this entire odd historical experiences of this time frame. Why create a fair from scratch and make it look like ancient Rome? I mean, this is Chicago 1893, the start of the skyscraper bonanza. If the fair is all about showing off modern technological progress, and especially American progress, why make all of the fairs look like you were in ancient Rome or Greece? I told you we rivaled them. This is the old world. Why not show off the new American city building craze? I think there is a very important reason for this. They wanted to symbolize that America was the new Rome in the world, the center of everything, or possibly show that Chicago was Rome or a second Rome. When I looked at the latitude of Chicago, it lays at 4150 north. You will find that this is the exact same as Rome. In fact, St. Peter's Basilica is almost at the exact same latitude as Chicago's City Hall. When you follow that line around the globe, no other major city falls along it, just Chicago and Rome. Whether Chicago was an eastern city in the old Roman Empire is hard to prove at this point. It is very possible that Roman Greek style buildings existed in North America before the European arrival in the 1500s. Or whenever they finally arrived, in parentheses, maybe not even until 1776, because they were sending shock troops here, Negro, Mongrel, or Mongol, and we were kicking their ass. Long fight though. The cities then seemed to present the U.S. as the new Roman Empire. The expositions were no exception. In fact, I believe they chose a very specific Roman location to be their model for the fair, in parentheses, as I will describe in the chapter 8. And again, Chicago is by no means unique historically, as we will see in the upcoming chapters of the other cities. In parentheses, really look at the history of San Francisco when we come to it. And for now, we move to the 700-acre Chicago Columbian exhibition. The first point is that we are not even now sure what the word Columbian is referring to. Next, we'll get to chapter 4, the Columbian Exposition, and the Court of Honor, which I told y'all they did a lot of change there, and it's amazing that they even destroyed it. We were some motherfuckers, boy. We was some motherfuckers, you hear me? Some straight up motherfuckers. Cut. No, Book of Giants get read a little later. And we'll read that because I'm going to read the Book of America right here. That's why it's important to read these books together. And then we'll read Arthur Koestler and start Tartarian book because I really want to get that. So we have those two and those two over there. I'm not going to read all the other ones. Again, I'm going to pull those up probably later on. Don't worry, I will be back on. I want to do it open mic, so I want to have that platform laid out. But it's getting late. It's going on 4, and I got to eat because I feel it in my bones, all right? Ladies and gents, let me give a shout out and then we'll take it on. It seems like notification must not be getting out there, but they can see it later. It's all right. No Perio. All right, they hit you up, APJ. Mama Red. It's surprising. And I let people know that I'm live. And I know they'll for it. Oh, that's an old man coming in. But like I said, you know, we're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it moving forward. And yes, I think the open mic is going to be beneficial. Maybe I'll do the open mic tomorrow because I want to come back. I want to read some more because it needs to keep it all tied in. You know what I mean? You see, the same damn thing. All of a sudden, there was an explosion of them here, late 1800s, yes, and 1900s. That's when the majority came, and out of nowhere. I have that book. Okay, it wasn't just Chicago. It was no, of course not. Yeah, to hide the hiding. Yeah, in plain sight. As I continue with my research, it explains why I have such a passion for love for architects. I was watching for you to be on here. Thank you, Mama Red. Appreciate that note. Yeah, damn. Okay, that's one cat that scratched me. I appreciate you guys coming in. Share this. I appreciate it. I'm asking y'all to share it because I find it's very important to be shared. I don't know what Ronald's going. I don't know what he's doing. Westside might be in the studio. You know, he's a music engineer and everything. But share it. All right. And I appreciate y'all. Now we'll definitely be back on. I gotta eat, guys. I am. Even though I'm losing weight and everything's good, I gotta put something in here. It's weaning myself to another. When I get there, y'all know, because I'll make sure y'all know. All right. So y'all have a grand one. I appreciate it. Jamil Shamsi. Okay, appreciate it, Jamil. Yeah, man. All the support, bro. You know what I'm saying? All the support. Yeah, let me know what's going on with that. I know what you're talking about. I appreciate it, fam. I got to eat something, guys. All right? That's the brother right there. Don't call my dummy no dummy. Purchase the book. It's in the description, all right? Get it. Jamil Shamsi. All right? Check his book out. It's powerful. All right? All right, beloved ones. Appreciate y'all taking the time to come in and check it out.